Hi everybody. Welcome to my first official real webinar. And pretty excited, but also a bit nervous about it. So I'm glad it's just going to be friends watching. And I would like to ask from you to give me feedback and what you think about this webinar. Do you get some value out of it? Or do you find it too salesy? Do you find it too long? Do you find it too boring? Whatever feedback you have, that would be really valuable for me. Now, yesterday I tried the webinar and had some technical difficulties. Of course, that always happens when you do it for the first time. I actually had a couple of test runs and it went fine. Last night, I had some real terrible echo because I had some people log in on Google Hangouts. Therefore, I'm not going to let you log in on Google Hangouts and just have you watch via YouTube live stream. And I hope that that quality is okay. Hey, if you have any difficulties there, or if you cannot hear me, or if you cannot see my PowerPoint, which I'm going to share in a minute, and when I walk you through the seminar, then please send me an email. And if you have, if you have questions or anything, send me an email, because the chat option, now that I don't use Google Hangouts, unfortunately, is not available today. And I'm not a technical brilliant mind so that I could fix it within a few hours. So, but anyways, I hope you enjoy these next 45 minutes that will add real value to your life. And I'm just going to what I've been busy with over the past couple of years and what it resulted in. And I'm going to introduce to you the Dream Chasers Treasure Program, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, let me know what you think. And if you have questions, then send me an email at utaschmidt7@gmail.com. All right, and then I'm going to share the screen. Let's hope that this will work. Okie dokes. It does some weird things, but that is okay. Right. Here, welcome to the seminar, the Dream Chasers Treasure Program, which will show you a path, a genuine path to experiencing more freedom and abundance. And I don't know if you've ever been at that point where I have been, but I have wondered what it would be like to be able to live the life that I actually really want. What it would be like to break out of mediocrity and experience an abundant life, and to experience real connection. Or what it would be like to know that you matter and leave a legacy of love and abundance. Well, you're about to discover in the next 45 minutes how to actually realize the life that is an expression of your true identity, how you can break free from the lies that's been keeping you down. It's probably not just one lie, but there is a very specific lie that is prevalent in our thinking, and I will address that in a minute. And it usually holds us back in stepping into what we actually have in our hearts. And you're about to discover what you can learn from some of the greatest leaders and role models of our time, so you can actually live a life of abundance yourself. And it's actually a well-known secret that most people don't feel successful and struggle to build the life that they really long for, and also among Christians. So we don't really need to fool ourselves and think just because we go to church that we have the abundant life. We all long for more. And in spite of all the well-meant books and programs, conferences and trainings, the majority doesn't feel like they really get the results that they were promised. And we don't address this, but the pain and shame of failure is the #1 cause of stress and isolation in our current society. And it's actually, unfortunately, also pretty prevalent in churches because we feel we don't really match up and live the life that we think we are supposed to live or supposed to experience. And my promise to you is that by the end of this presentation, that you will know more about fulfilling your destiny and what it means to be truly successful than most speakers or even so-called success gurus, if you've done trainings and motivational stuff, will actually tell you. But you have to stay until the end. Otherwise, of course, that promise won't apply. So what is the Dream Chasers approach? It is not a quick fix, overnight promise to success. No, the Dream Chasers approach is a compass that shows you the truth about what it means to be truly successful. It provides a blueprint that shows you how you can live your true identity and live a fulfilled life, namely your life, not to imitate somebody else or try to be like somebody else, but to live from your true identity. It is also a series of life lessons from ordinary people who became extraordinary. And it provides you with keys or your key to live at your fullest. So why the Dream Chasers approach? Okay, and here we have another interference, which was not so good. Excuse me, and that's of course always happens when it's not supposed to happen. Excuse me, but that's real life. So I'm not going to do like a polished up program. Here are 10 telephones going. Sorry, I put them all on silence, but here we go. So the Dream Chasers approach will enable you to live your destiny, actually here and now. And I don't know, a lot of people, including me, we're at the point where we're waiting for something to happen, and actually can live your destiny here and now. And because deep down, you know you were made for more than what you are actually experiencing right now. And because the world needs people like you who rise above the circumstances and fight for what is possible. And because it will offer you a quantum leap, some real progress in the quality of your life, your health, your relationships, and your happiness. Happiness in terms of finding really something, giving your life meaning and purpose. So, and why should you listen to me? Well, the insights that I'm about to share, they're actually worth more than gold, because they are life lessons learned from some of the greatest leaders of our time who have shown what it means to be truly successful. And I myself, I'm an author and a speaker on life lessons, and I created the Dream Chasers approach, as you know, and most of you already know that I've been busy writing the book Dream Chasers, which is almost finished and will be published the beginning of next year, with in-depth interviews with Les Brown, Desmond Tutu, Bill Johnson, Lauren Cunningham, Roland and Heidi Baker, the Vicar of Baghdad, Dr. Sandra Kennedy, William Paul Young, and many more. And so I'm actually sharing some of their most important life lessons. And it's not so much about me. I'm conveying their greatest life lessons, and I put it in a form that is easy to understand. But just to tell you a little bit how I got there. Me, I was made in Germany, and a lot of people think like, oh, well, the Germans, they really have it made, but believe it or not, there is a lot of poverty in Germany, and in particular, emotional poverty. And I grew up in one such family with a lot of emotional poverty, a very dysfunctional and Christian deformed family, as I would call it. very dysfunctional. And so I didn't have such an easy start. I felt pretty isolated and didn't really know where was my place in this world. And how I dealt with it, I actually started wearing a lot of masks. I didn't do that consciously, but what you do as a kid subconsciously is you try to figure out what people want you to be, and then you try to please them, and you be that. And without knowing that, I was constantly putting on different masks to adjust to different people's expectations and situations and circumstances, and that was my way of surviving. Well, I knew that this wasn't the best way to live, so I thought the solution for me would be in getting away from Germany as far as possible. And I joined YWAM when I was 19 years old, Youth with a Mission in South Africa. I wanted to explore Africa and the world. It was part of my dream to go to Africa. But the problem is I carried myself to Africa, and there I still encountered like the issues that I was facing within myself. I learned great principles there, great values, and I'm really grateful for that time that I had, but it didn't solve the internal issues that I was struggling with. And then I thought, okay, what do I do next? And what's then the solution? So I drove myself to high performances. I got an education, which is good. And I studied English, and I studied German literature and linguistics, and I drove myself to high performances. I graduated cum laude. And on the outside, I looked as if I had it all together. I was what the world would say, pretty, she has it all together. But inside, I still couldn't solve the problem of what was I supposed to do? What's my purpose? Who am I? And what's really the purpose of my life? And even though I was outwardly successful and I did a lot of trainings, worked on self-development, to deal with the contradictory feelings inside, and eventually I got psychiatric help, counseling, I thought like I need to be fixed. I need to fix myself up, and get to a place where I find a meaningful life. And at the awesome years of 39, which was actually not so awesome, it was pretty horrible for me. I felt pretty bewildered, disoriented, and lost, even though I had done all the right things, all the things that I was told to do. I didn't get the results that I was promised and that I was looking for. I did the right things and I didn't get the right results. So eventually, and some of you know that it doesn't really end well, I had a nervous breakdown. I ended up in a burnout. And that is actually where the idea of Dream Chasers approach, Dream Chasers book started to arise, because I had to ask myself, in that place, I was in a place that I thought like, well, I didn't really plan to be at that place at the age of 39 or 40. I had envisioned my life to be totally different. So I felt like a complete failure. I'd missed it. And the big question that I was confronted with was, what do I really want? And that was actually not easy for me to answer. And then I came across something where I thought like, life is actually not that black and white and straightforward as everybody always tells. It's been pretty confusing to me. And it was, why is there so little, why is this not addressed that much? But the confusing parts and the contradictory parts. So I came across a very interesting study. And this is now where Dream Chaser starts. So I felt like in all the Christian training and all the academic education that I had, and all research that I'd done, there was some missing piece. I thought like somehow that life doesn't really work out that way. And I came across a study from Fuller Theological Seminary, and it was, and this study was on destiny. So there, a professor conducted empirical research over 30 years among a specific group of respondents. And after 30 years, and they were all full-time ministers, 80% actually said that they felt they had not fulfilled their destiny or their life's assignment. Only 20%, or even less than 20%, said, okay, they felt that they did what they were called to do. So, and this 80-20 percentage is confirmed by another study among Yale graduates. And there was also, but we're talking about Yale graduates and full-time ministers. So these people, you would think, at least from a secular standard, these people have it made and they should know what their destiny is. And yet only less than 20% at the end felt that they really fulfilled their destiny. So if you then just think of what that means for, let's say, the whole population of the world, or what that means for the rest of the Christians, if even full-time ministers didn't feel that they fulfilled their destiny, then the percentage is far lower. And the interesting part about this study for me was when I found out they looked at what was the main difference between the 80% and the 20%. And they said one of the most striking differences was that the 80%, they did not understand the maturing process God takes you through on your way to your destiny. And they did not know how to deal with contradictory circumstances, difficulties, setbacks, disappointments / suffering in your life, in their lives. And I thought, like, whoa, yeah, that's a good point, because I also felt very confused about the contradictions that I was facing. And then I thought, you know what, if that is true, that every person goes through a maturing process and experiences these contradictory circumstances, because at that point I was still thinking, the grass always looks greener on the other side, then I want to know from great leaders what kind of contradictory circumstances they have faced. For instance, Les Brown, one of the top motivational speakers, Bill Johnson, what kind of contradictions has he faced? I mean, definitely the grass looks greener on his side, until I did the interview, actually, and somebody told me, hey, Bill Johnson, he must have the perfect life. And I said, yeah, wait until you read my book. There is no such thing as a perfect life. None of these people, Roland and Heidi Baker, one of my heroes, the Vicar of Baghdad, Desmond Tutu, none of them has had a perfect life. They were all faced with tragedy, with incredible contradictions, and they all had plenty of reasons and situations where they could have thrown in a towel and just say, you know what, I'm giving up. And I've been writing, since then I've been writing the book Dream Chasers, and I'm writing now my very last chapter, and then I'm getting it published. So I'm really excited about that. And people started really getting interested in it. Even people that I interviewed, they asked me, so what do all the other people say? And they started listening to me. And then actually when Sandra Kennedy asked me, what do all these people say? What do they have in common? I really started processing all the interviews and tried to filter out what are the commonalities between all these people. And also with the insights from personal study, from personal experience, and from the interviews that I did with all these wonderful people, I developed the Dream Chasers Treasure Program. And that's what I'm going to share with you, because so many challenges so many people face is that they do not have the energy to do what it takes and really get the result that they want in life. And let's be honest, even in churches, I mean, I've been, I'm a church kid, and I felt most of the time that I didn't really get the results that I wanted. I got some, or I felt good for some time, but I would always crash and burn again. I would get stuck on the way, on old patterns of behavior or negative belief systems, self-sabotaging behavior. Others have unhealthy balance between time, finance, and health, and they don't know how to break free from the cycle of failure, or they feel disconnected from themselves, from God, and from others. bigger reason than why I created the Dream Chasers Treasure Program is this, because I believe that every person, that you were born with a treasure inside of you. You carry a treasure inside of you, and it says you're this treasure in earthen vessels. But sometimes, we are not even in touch with the treasure that we really carry. And the world is waiting for this treasure to be released. So the bigger reason is because there's a lot of potential dormant in the body of Christ and among people in general, which is really worth being released. And you have something to give, you have something to contribute, and you are a gift, you are a treasure to this world. And what is different about the Dream Chasers Treasure Program than, for instance, other programs that you might have heard of, or other motivational things or trainings that you've been to? The unique thing is that it is not about becoming like them, because that's what I thought for a long time. I had to become like them. Oh, I have to become like Heidi Baker. I have to become like Bill Johnson, or I have to become like Les Brown in Christian trainings and secular trainings. It is actually about becoming like you, the real you that you were made to be. And it's not based on models or systems. It's not a quick fix thing, overnight promise for success. No, life is a process, not an event. This is real life experience. They are life lessons from dozens of extraordinary people, and also me, because I've packaged them in a specific way. And they are translated in easy to understand and implement life lessons. So now we dig in right into the Dream Chasers Treasure Program, and you will learn this about the cycle of a dream and the stages that you need to pass through, or will pass through, when you actually fulfill your vision, your dream, your destiny, and your calling. The Dream Chaser cycle that I've identified consists of 8 stages, phases that you go through. And I've used the acronym TREASURE. So the first one is touch your treasure. The second one is a reality check. The third one is embrace your destiny. The fourth one, accept your identity, strategize, unleash your hidden potential, ride the wind, and enjoy new heights. And I will share of each phase what you will go through, what the program has to offer. So in total, it is an outside-in approach, which is the first phase, consisting of the 4 modules. And that focuses on discovering your treasure that you carry inside. And the second stage is phase 2. It's an inside-out approach. Then once you know who you are, what your treasure is, you release it to the world, release the treasure. So the first one gives you your true you will find your true north, and you will discover your divine design. And in phase 2, you will craft your future and live your legacy. You actually start living it here and now. Now I'll go through the acronym: touch your treasure and the reality check. Then embracing your destiny, accepting your identity, strategizing and unleashing your hidden power, and riding the wind and enjoying new heights. All right, let's look at the individual modules and why that is important, and what you can get out of it and what you can discover. And the first one is touch your treasure and the reality check. In touching your treasure, you will learn through a series of exercises and very specific assignments how to dream without limits. And that is something that most of us have unlearned. And actually, just a few weeks ago, I was talking to a friend and I asked him, so what is your dream? What is your vision? And he said, like, you know what? Over the past 2 years, it's been so rough. Couldn't even afford to dream. And then later on, I thought, like, yeah, but you actually cannot afford not to dream. I understand that life's pressures hold us back, but if you understand the power of a dream and a vision, then you know that it is very important to dream, and you will discover in that part, in that module, your passion, and you will develop a vision, and it will result in energy, hope, perspective, and you will see more opportunities. And it's not that the circumstances necessarily change, but your outlook will change. Your focus will be elsewhere. It will be on the vision, and the vision will enable you to see perspective and opportunity. Les Brown says, I found that most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit. And the majority of people don't aim at all. So it's really important that you aim, that you know what your aim is. And Lance Warno, trainer and international speaker, he said, your future is not in front of you, it's inside of you. You carry your future with you wherever you go. And clarity is power. The clearer you are on your vision, the more power you are going to have to actually manifest it. So clarity is crucial. And Les Brown again says, life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. And I personally experienced this lesson in a very hard way, because when I was in that breakdown, that nervous, the nervous breakdown, the burnout, I didn't know. To that point, I didn't really know what I wanted, at least consciously. Subconsciously, I did. I did know what I wanted, but I didn't live it and didn't pursue it. So what I didn't want was actually taking over. So there is really a truth in this. But in the next module, we'll not only dream without limits. We don't just want to daydream and think and have wishful thinking. No, we also look at a reality check. We are looking at reality and what's been stopping you from actually walking out what you carry in your heart. And that will bring forth clarity, but also cleansing. And it is the truth that will set you free. And you will get far more of a grip of, okay, why are you where you're at? And why haven't you been doing certain things? Yes, there will be a cleansing. It will be a bit confronting, but it will empower you. That is the ultimate result. It gives you empowerment, because then you also know what you can change and how to set life in motion. This is so important because lying to ourselves is more deeply ingrained than lying to others. And Dostoevsky is one of the deepest authors that there is, but he has a lot of truth in his writing, and we're constantly fooling ourselves and lying to ourselves, and that's why this reality check is so important. Steve Jobs said, for the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Think about that. I personally, if I would have done that every day, I know I had a no in my heart for too many days. It took me a little bit too long, but eventually I did make the change. In the next phase, you will discover your divine design. And that is also very crucial. And that consists of the modules, embrace your destiny and accept your identity. All right. So we will now look at embracing your destiny. And why is that so important? Because you will see the bigger picture and discover why your dreams are important to you. It is very important to know your bigger why. What are your real motives? What is the real underlying vision and value? And you will discover the bigger picture and the purpose of your dreams. And that will give you clarity about your contribution, because you're not just here to live a fulfilling life for your own sake, but to actually, out of that abundance, to overflow and to contribute something. And it will bring you sustained motivation, energy, and gratefulness. Shakespeare said, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." And that's why embracing your destiny and accepting your identity are so closely linked together. But it also has another important aspect. Joel Osteen says, "I believe that God has put gifts and talents and ability on the inside of every one of us. When you develop that and you believe in yourself and you believe that you are a person of influence and a person of purpose, I believe you can rise up out of any situation." So having purpose and being a person of purpose has great influence on how you deal with obstacles in your life, which invariably will come. You're being called to live a bigger life. Answer the call. Playing small does not serve you. You have so much more to offer and you know it. Get out of your comfort zone. Take some chances and do something that scares you out of your wits. That's The Challenge by Les Brown. And now we get to accepting your identity. You will look in this module on your unique design, your inherent motivations, preferences, and strengths, and you will discover how to leverage these strengths. That's very important, not only to know what is your dream and what is your destiny, but also what you were wired to do and how you will actually do these things. And it's very important to be aware of what your strengths are and your weaknesses are and how you can leverage on these. You will understand yourself and other people, knowing how to strategize and choose effective collaboration and partnerships. And it will also help you have improved relationships on a private as well as on a business level. And it results in peace, more self-acceptance, and authenticity, because you will have to do and work out and walk out your destiny in a way that you were wired to do, not in a way somebody else was wired to do. And if you try to do it like somebody else who is totally different in his personality and design, you will get frustrated. It will also lead to gratitude, contentment, and most of all, connection with ourselves and with others. Now, Bill Johnson said, "The insecure often fight for identity and mistake rights for responsibilities. The more secure we become, it is to live out of our divine nature, the ultimate place of rest." So being firmly established in your identity, and this is what the whole Bethel community really drives into the young people who do their training programs, is really identity. Living out of your identity, out of your identity in God, that is the ultimate place of rest. And one of my favorite speakers, Brene Brown, research professor at the University of Houston, she said, "True belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance." So accepting our identity, being secure in our identity, and really being aware of how we were wired is very important in moving into our destiny. And here is what a trainer and consultant said from, his name is Adam Coe. I don't know him not personally, but he said, "After working with 500,000 people in 7 countries through my seminars and coaching sessions, I have found that when a person makes a change and it lasts, it is because they did not just make a change on the behavioral, emotional, or cognitive level, but they make a shift at the level of their self-identity. That goes far deeper. So it is very important. So this is phase 1, the outside-in approach. Touching your treasure, the reality check, embracing your destiny, and accepting your identity, and you will move from a shadow identity of trying to be like somebody else, trying to be like Heidi Baker, like Bill Johnson, like Les Brown, or just like somebody that you think you should be like. Looking for our life's purpose on the outside of ourselves, waiting for something to happen, even waiting for God to speak through a prophetic word, or whatever, and driven by opinions and expectations from society, or being disconnected from ourselves, God, and others, you will move to your true identity. You live your life to your fullest. Your life and your identity. You connect with the dreams God has put in us, and you will live from our divine nature and experience true peace. And it will lead to connection with ourselves, God, and others. And it will lead to far more fulfilling relationships. Because a lot of in our society is cosmetic, and it's not authentic, and we need to move from a place of authenticity and not try to be someone else. So that was phase one. From where phase one, we will move into phase two, the inside out approach, releasing the treasure. Okay, still with me? I hope so. And this consists of the modules strategize and unleash your hidden power. All right. Now that you know what your vision is, what your dreams are, who you are, what you are wired to do, and what your strengths and weaknesses are, you're going to strategize. You craft a master plan with specific areas of focus. And that will be worked out in a 12-week schedule with SMART goals and action steps. And it will bring focus, motivation, progression, purpose, and desired results. And here's why this is so important and actually really powerful. It's really powerful results. Sandra Kennedy says, many people think they have a vision, but they don't understand that vision has hands and feet to it. They have the idea that having a vision means to agree with it in their mind, but they don't understand that you have to make it happen. You can almost compare it with the difference between hope and faith, between just agreeing with something and actually doing something. That's a missing element for a lot of people. You gotta get moving and actually really execute and realize things. And when you actually start moving out and living out your vision and really put it into action, that's when you will unleash your hidden potential. And as you walk it out, and here is the difference between the Dream Chasers Treasure Program and a lot of other trainings, which provide you with a lot of input, but then you have to walk it out on your own. This one is walking it out together, and actually that is a crucial part, because once you walk it out, you will probably hit some roadblocks there, and then we will look at that together, and we will release subconscious blockades that interfere with your progress. This is an approach that eliminates subconscious beliefs that lead to self-sabotaging behavior. You deal with the obstacles on your way to progress, with fears that hold you back, and it will give you or release an increased rate of motion, energy, freedom, and it will get more results. And here I come back to the lie that's been keeping most of the people down, or the lies that have been keeping it down. Why do so many people not progress in actually, and why don't they really pursue their dreams and their destiny? And that has to do with fears, a lot of irrational fears. But here's the problem. We might know that our fears are irrational, but we still live by our fears, because only 3% of our processing powers come from the conscious mind. The rest of it comes from your paradigm, the deeply ingrained beliefs in your subconscious mind. And so consciously, you might be thinking something new. You might be telling, yes, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to live my dreams. I don't need to be afraid. But subconsciously, your paradigm is controlling your results. You subconsciously actually you make your decisions based on what's actually programmed in your subconscious mind. And here it's important to understand the working of the brain. If you want to change your current conditions, it's important that you understand how the mind really works, and particularly how the subconscious mind works. Then instead of being stuck in old unproductive patterns, which you maybe try to change by conditioning and by putting a lot of effort in it to make change, but when you get to the subconscious level, you'll be able to joyfully shape. That's what Bob Proctor says. And here is why it's so important to understand the working of the subconscious mind, because, you know, this is what William Faulkner said: the past isn't dead. It isn't even past. And here in the next one is a really powerful quote from the movie Magnolia. It's not a great movie, but the quote is powerful. It says, "We may be through with the past, but the past isn't through with us." And that is true because the way our brain works. We have to understand that the most important things, let's say our brain is like a database, and the database gets filled in, of course, the first formative years of our lives. And how do we learn about the environments, about the things in the world when we are just born? We learn it by exposure. And we learn to identify things. We learn to identify, okay, this is a dog. But we do not only learn to identify the object, we also learn, is it safe or is it not safe? So if I see a dog and I've had a pleasant experience with it, I think when I, as a kid, when I see a dog, I say like, hey, fun. But when I was exposed to a dog and had a very unpleasant and scary experience, the next time I see a dog, even if it's a different dog, the kid will cry. It will feel unsafe. So what you need to understand of the brain is it also works on the basis of an emotional code. It attaches to every single object and experience we are exposed to an emotional value code. And that is stored in your body, in your subconscious mind, and it is automatically activated when there is sufficient similarity in the present. And, there's incoming data through our senses, through the touch, the eye, the smell, the taste, and the ears. And that is how sensory data comes into our brain, and we get stimulated, and then an identifying code is activated and an emotional code is activated, and then we respond in the conscious mind. But the identifying code and the emotional code, they are in the subconscious brain, and they are stored in the same place and activated at the same time. And that's why in the present, we do the right things, the rational things, and yet our emotions, the physiology in our body, tells us something else. So we have a huge discrepancy between the rational mind and the emotional experience, which is nothing else but physiology, the physiological reaction. Yeah. And then the dilemma is that traditional approaches consist of conditioning. They are dealing with issues that we are facing on a cognitive level. You've all heard mindset like 100 and millions of times, And so that's in the motivational area. In business trainings, you hear about mindset. And it's true, mindset is important, but not on a cognitive level. Your mind is not set. There is stuff that happens in your subconscious mind that interferes with your cognitive level. True change, however, happens from the heart. You can also, and the Hebrew understanding of the heart, that is the seat of the thoughts, of the emotions, of the core of your being. There was no separation between the head and the heart. That is a horrible schism that was actually created by Greek thinking, and it prevails until this day. But it is a holistic thinking. It is from the heart, from the depth of our core. It includes everything. There's not a split between the rational mind and the emotion, but that is the split we experience. So, and that's why so many people get into a burnout, and why they don't get the results that they're really looking for, why they are stuck in fears. I mean, we all know, that we don't need to be afraid. Love casts out all fear. We know that rationally, but inside, deep in our subconscious mind, we are still entrapped by what has been programmed in our subconscious mind. But that can be changed to this unique approach. And you are as great as your greatest longings and as small as your deepest limiting beliefs. This is why, one of the reasons why this Dream Chasers Treasure program is so unique, and you won't find that in any other training program. And I've done tons of training programs, secular and Christian. This approach will show you the roots of your emotions and how this determines your behavior. It reveals the deep and hidden convictions that limit our daily life and progress towards success. And it shows you how your behavior changes automatically when you discover the root behind the certain pattern and behavior, which limits your success and effectiveness. And by discovering what the real issue is behind our strongest emotions, we get a grip on it. This approach, Unleashing Hidden Power, is a simple and profound approach, and it will deal with the limiting beliefs on the subconscious level. And it will lead to more energy, a greater ability to handle present circumstances, reduce stress in your daily life, better discernment and judgment, achieving more goals and expanding your vision, making better choices in your personal life, as well as in your career, and experience more peace, freedom, and balance, and improved relationships. So I believe that actually true change penetrates or even originates or comes from the subconscious mind. And otherwise, if it's just conditioning. Now, just 2 testimonials about this approach who've done that in my program. I dealt with fear, which created many obstacles in the progress of my life. This approach opened new perspective for my life and behavior, and as a result, I felt secure and confident in my actions. I stood much stronger. The most important insight and effect for me was that with realizing the real problem, I also solved it. And another testimonial, as a result from these sessions, my sessions with Ute helped me to understand and release a lot of tension and personal traits that affected my life. This work helped me a lot in getting to the roots of my self-sabotaging behavior and solving them. I saw immediate improvement in my daily life. There are a lot more testimonials on my website under personal transformation testimonials. You can read them. It's a really powerful approach, very effective. And that is very uniquely included in this coaching program. As you walk out your vision, you look at what's actually holding you back so that you can deal with the roadblocks and really move forward. And in this last section, we look at Ride the Wind and Enjoy New Heights. Riding the wind, you will understand the process of growth and maturity. And this is also very important. Here, I will specifically deal with getting the right perspective on contradictory circumstances and suffering and disappointment. You will also understand the cycle of a dream and a vision. And I will share with you life lessons from great leaders, how they have dealt with contradictory circumstances. And it gives you keys to authentic living. And as I said in the beginning, this approach is not a quick fix and a promise to overnight success, because that doesn't exist. This is a process that you walk through, and these stages and being aware of these stages will help you deal with different obstacles and things you will encounter in your life when walking out your destiny. Deal with adverse circumstances and use every situation to your advantage. And the result will be single-mindedness, inspiration, and authenticity. And I call this riding the wind because this is what I discovered. A bird gains new height always by a downward movement. It first goes down before it goes up and gains new height. And there is a second thing. A bird knows how to use headwind or tailwind, favorable or adverse circumstances. It knows how to use it to always gain new heights. And this is what this module, Ride the Wind, is about. It is very powerful life lessons from great leaders. And Desmond Tutu says, suffering is not optional. Dear child of God, I'm sorry to say that suffering is not optional. Suffering is part and parcel of the human condition, but suffering can either embitter or ennoble us. It can ennoble us and become a spirituality of transformation when we find meaning in it. So successful and an abundance, experiencing an abundant life and freedom does not mean you live pain-free and you never experience any suffering. That type of life does not exist. However, you will be provided with tools and with perspectives to deal with contradictory circumstances in your life and use them to know how to use them to your advantage, because you will invariably encounter them. Wanting something is not enough. You must hunger for it. Your motivation must be absolutely compelling in order to overcome the obstacles that will invariably come your way. All right, and then the last module deals with enjoying new heights. And this is about personal leadership, a kind of an entrepreneurship, looking at your contribution. You're going to create your inner circle, share resources, even get to the point of creating a movement on a small but also on a larger scale. And you will be clear about your contribution. There is no top. You have to realize that. There are always further heights to reach. It's not like when you actually enjoy the new heights that you're there and live there forever. No, then you develop new vision and you go through the whole cycle again. You touch your treasure, you expand your vision, and you put it into action. You see, what I realized and what I discovered with the people that I've interviewed, they all have holy dissatisfaction. So they've experienced amazing things. And for instance, Heidi says, yes, we are grateful for what we see. We feed 10,000s on a daily basis, but God has promised us the millions. And I'm asking him, when will we see the millions fed? She's impatient for seeing the millions fed. She's not just resting on, oh yeah, we've reached this and that's fine. No, she's not plateauing. No, there is a hunger for more. Same thing with Bill Johnson. Is that we have seen great things, but we haven't seen all that we want to see. There's so much more, and I want my life to manifest what God has made possible for me. And so in this module, you expand your vision and see a bigger picture. And the whole point is that the heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. And it is not something, getting there and experiencing these new heights is not something that just happens supernaturally. No, it's you when you start stepping out, when you start making things happen, that's when God's supernatural power will meet you and will open up doors in supernatural ways. But it's not coming just over you one night you wake, or one day you wake up and there your destiny is handed to you on a silver platter. And these insights that I've gained from these people, they're all integrated into the Dream Chasers Treasure Program. And here is one of my first graduates from the program, and she says that this coaching program has brought significant change to my life. The first phase has helped me put meaning and purpose to my day. With the principles I learned and strategized, I now feel more accomplished in my daily life. Going through all the stages of the program has inspired me to take courageous steps and seek purpose. Most of all, I have discovered the real treasure hidden inside of me, and I'm now on my way to actualize my God-given dreams, talents, desires, and passions. Now, does she have it made? Is she there yet? No, but she is definitely on the way. This is Colette Randall, ex-engineer, now dream chaser. And once you've gone through these stages, you will go through this cycle again. It's a cycle. This Dream Chaser cycle is something that I use all the time in my life as well. And this is exactly, these are the phases and stages that have gotten me where I am today. And believe me, I haven't been there for many, many years. I was stuck for many years. So my question is, my offer to you is, will you be the next Dream Chaser? And now I'm going to offer you the Dream Chasers Treasure Program. How can you access it? Now, it's not for free because I had to pay a lot of money to go through trainings and to get the insights that I have today. But what it will give you is clarity, vision, hope, strategy, power, purpose, and most of all, direction. That's what this program will result in. Now, and how is this going to happen? Well, these are 10 weekly live online treasure sessions in small groups, not more than 5, and they're interactive and they're with question and answers. These sessions will take to 1.5 hours every week. The value of that, these 10 sessions, 1.5 hours, about $1,600. We're talking about what that would be in a business setting. You will get lifelong access to the recordings. You will get the specific assignments to actually apply it right away in this coming week. And you have downloadable PDF forms of the value of $250. Then you will have live access, short introduction videos. Recording will be accessible within 48 hours online, and you will have your own dashboard when you want to review it in your own time. $250. And you will get a blueprint to success, all these stages, the treasure cycle. You will get a treasure map, your route to progress, and you will always be able to check where are you at in which area of your life of a value of $90. And Dream Chasers Treasure Program, again, it has 10 weekly live online sessions of 1.5 hours, 1 to 1.5 hours, and access to online success path, live access to the recordings, blueprint of your personal treasure map. And the total value of that is $2,190. But you will also get the Dream Chasers book as a bonus next year when it's out. And the real value of that, actually, it's pretty invaluable of, the insights are really worth more than gold. But I thought, what else could I offer? Do you need in order to get the most out of it? That is a second bonus, which is tickets to a live training, and that will be a live seminar with intensified training, and I will do a special session with you with question and answers of the value of $149. And what else could I provide? I was thinking, what else could I give that you could get more value out? And that is an assessment. Get, as a third bonus, you will get personal assessment of areas you need to focus on. So it's an individualized assessment of $169. But I thought, like, hey, is there something else that can add value than just having the on top of having the 10 treasure sessions? And that is, yes, I want to give you 2 individual Unleashing Your Hidden Power coaching sessions as you walk it out. So these sessions, they last up to 3 hours, depending on what you're dealing with. But the average is about 2 hours. That real value is about $500. So the package that I'm offering, the Dream Chasers Treasure Program, consists of the 10 weekly live treasure sessions, access to online success path, live access to recordings, the blueprint to success, and the personal treasure map. And there's bonus 1, the copy of the Dream Chasers book. Bonus 2, two tickets to a live event. Bonus 3 is the personal assessment. And bonus 4, 2 individual Unleashing Your Hidden Power coaching sessions. And the real value would be $3,238. And that is still moderately priced, right? All of this system, this process, this program did was giving you vision, purpose, and hope. What would it be worth it to you? And if all this system did was connecting it with yourself, what would it be worth it to you? Or even if all this system just did was getting you unstuck, what would it be worth it to you? Again, this is the value that you get from the Dream Chasers Treasure Program. And moderately priced, it would be $32, $38. But because I'm launching this program, I'm going to give you a special introductory price of $1,295. Now, why should you do this? If you've been waiting for something to happen in your life, then here is your opportunity. And if you don't do it now, then when will you do it? You don't know how much time you have left. And because there is a treasure inside of you that is waiting to be discovered and to be released. And the world needs the treasure that you carry. And if you don't claim back your true identity, your treasure will stay hidden and you will miss out on part of your life purpose. But I was thinking, people that registered are all friends. So I give you a special introductory price for $997. So euros, it's even less. You will receive an email with a link where you can access the training and you can purchase it. And if you, though, think, yeah, I'm really interested, this sounds really good, but I'm not ready for that whole program yet, for whatever reasons, I have an individual offer for you, and you can get in touch with me. And if you would be interested to be part of a test group where we'll do the program, you can also get in touch with me. All right, let me just see if I have any questions. I will now get back to Google Hangouts. Yeah, stop sharing my screen. Be ready to answer some questions because I've now talked a lot. I know that was a lot of information. But the Dream Chasers Treasure Program offers a lot of content. I have followed trainings just for a weekend training with Les Brown. It were 2 days. I paid like $2,500. That is normal in the high quality trainings. And so I was thinking of how can I package this so that it actually really provides value for you. And, true change doesn't happen overnight. You get really energized, you get very inspired by just one weekend training. But in order to actually really see some tangible results in your life, I offer with this program not just to give you input and to get you inspired and get you charged up, but this actually means I'm going to be in your life for 3 months and we walk out apart together. And we also look, where do you get stuck and what will help you to move on and really get the results that you desire. What I can promise with this program, you will definitely see tangible results. Your life, many areas of your life will look different in 3 months, and you will mostly feel different, and you will feel more empowered and move more towards your destiny. Will all be well and all your problems be solved? That is what I cannot promise, but definitely it will be different, and it will launch you. It will give you a quantum leap in moving into your destiny. And I'm really eager to actually start this with a test group. And I've done it with several individuals, but I would like to actually have a test group and also see the results, test the results, and see how much potential is released and what lasting change it actually brings into your life. And hey, if you're not satisfied, you have a money back guarantee. If you think, if you would start this program and you think this is just crap, this is not what I was expecting, then within 30 days, you will get your money back. All right. Well, this was the Dream Chasers Treasure Program. And okay, let me just quickly check. There are a few questions. Yes, how is that all set up? I see. Okie dokes. Yeah, the question is, is like, how is that going to be set up? Well, these, the 10 sessions, the treasure sessions will be online. You will get a login code, and I will still see to the membership part. You will have a dashboard where you can log in, and the live sessions will be recorded. That will be via Skype because we have just small groups where we'll do the live sessions of 1 to 1.5 hours every week, and you will get assignments. So yes, you will need to actually plan in some time to do the assignment. It's not like homework, no, but these are tools that will actually help you right away apply the principles that we've discussed. And in particular, in the first part, touching your treasure, that's where you should actually plan in that week at least 2 to 3 hours. It's it's an interesting exercise, but it's not something that you can do in 10 minutes. So there will be some time, you need to plan in some time to do the assignments in order to get the real value out of it. But that is definitely worth it. It's not every week like that, but plan in some time to really go through the material and do the exercises. And you can then watch, if you miss it one time, you can definitely watch those videos online, and you will get access to getting the material. All right, that's the only question that I had. If there are any other questions, please email me at ute@dreamchasers.com, ute@dreamchasersapproach.com, or uteschmidt7@gmail.com. All right, so, and of course, I would be very interested to hear your feedback, as I already requested in the beginning. Let me know, was it clear? Do you have more questions? Was it confusing? Was it too long? Was it too short? Was it too boring? Was it amazing? Please also let me know. All right, thanks for registering for this webinar, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you and being connected to you. Okay, well, I hope you have a great day and enjoy your weekend. Bye.